Caitlin Clark has been going off in the NCAA women's tournament, and today I put her on the worst WNBA team, the Indiana Fever, to see if she could save their franchise. She has been incredible. She dropped over 40 points in the Final Four game, and today she's going to be playing in the NCAA championship. I'm most definitely going to be tuned in. And in the first game of Caitlin Clark's career, she drops 22 points, but I was noticing she really wasn't scoring that much through the first couple games, so I decided to update her player and give her the right tendencies. This was just a player I downloaded off of the Xbox, like somebody had made her, and her touch tendency and shot tendency was not high enough at all, and once that was up, oh, trust me, she started going absolutely crazy. Almost 18 points per game and an all-star starter in just the first season of her career. And something that I didn't really get at first was that in the WNBA, the scoring isn't as high. So scoring around 20 points per game seems like around as high as it's going to get. So Caitlin Clark averaging over 17 a game in just her first season is really impressive. Now, A'ja Wilson was dominating. She won DPOY and MVP, so we'll have to watch out for her. But right now, that's not really a problem if you're Caitlin Clark because, well, the Indiana Fever, even though she had a great rookie season, they were still really bad, only winning 13 games. I did go ahead and import the draft class so that hopefully Caitlin Clark could get some help. And I just recently found this out. You actually have to be 22 years old to enter the WNBA or have 4 years of college experience. So Caitlin Clark isn't going to be able to enter the WNBA draft just yet, even though she's absolutely dominating the college competition. But I guess some of these other WNBA players saw what Caitlin Clark was doing and wanted to join the team because now she's on an absolute super team with A'ja Wilson joining the roster. A'ja Wilson was last season's MVP, and Caitlin Clark's numbers did go down a bit this season for the Indiana Fever, but playing alongside some other great players, they were able to get much more wins on the year, winning 27 games. A'ja Wilson was once again the MVP, averaging 19 points and almost 11 rebounds per game. So we might not be able to see Caitlin Clark take the leap to being the star of this team yet, but having a veteran player who can lead the way for us could really help if we're trying to win and get some championships. So hopefully that's what we're going to be able to do early on in Caitlin Clark's career. The efficiency was down quite a bit this year too, by the way. Under 37% is crazy, I'm not going to lie to you, but hopefully she'll be able to get that up for her next season. She's still locking down defensively on that all-defensive first team. Now this year, we're the second seed in the playoffs, and the playoffs do look a little different than they do in the NBA. You only have 8 teams in the playoffs. There's much less teams in the WNBA, so that's just the way it works. And the first round, the first to 2 wins the series, which is wild. And then in the second round, it's first to 3 wins, I believe. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get to this second round matchup. And the New York Liberty look kind of crazy, I'm not going to lie to you. So hopefully we'll be able to get this dub. Caitlin Clark is like a super 6th woman for us because she is going to be coming off the bench and she gets a ton of buckets. So hopefully we'll be able to somehow squeeze out a series win against the stacked Liberty. Ultimately, though, they do go ahead and win in just 4 games, and they go on to lose in the finals to the Mercury. And now we're going to move on to another season where Caitlin Clark takes the leap to being our second best player. A'ja Wilson is far and away our best player at a 95 overall, and this season was once again a great year. Caitlin Clark took the leap into becoming the MVP of the WNBA in just her 3rd season. Absolutely ridiculous there from Caitlin Clark. And also, if you're enjoying the video so far, I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's continue on. Caitlin Clark must have took a big leap this season because being the MVP in year 3 is absolutely crazy. And in the first round, we get out of there in just 2 games. It's a 2-0 series sweep. And now we're facing the Dallas Wings, who really don't even compare to us in terms of talent. This should be light work, and we should be moving on to the WNBA Finals for the first time in this video. Let's see if we can do it. Game 1's a dub. Game 2's a dub. Come on, get the brooms out. Okay, they took a game, and we're out of there in just 4. Now we're headed on to the WNBA Finals against the Atlanta Dream. Let's see if we can go ahead and get a dub. We're up 2-0. Can we sweep the finals? Yes, we can. It is a 3-0 sweep. Caitlin Clark is your WNBA Finals MVP. And now we're moving on to another season. And with basically the same roster, we should be able to do our thing. We pretty much dominated our way through the playoffs last year. We go ahead and roll through the regular season, getting 30 wins. Caitlin Clark is the WNBA MVP once again, averaging 20 points per game for the first time in her WNBA career. 30 wins on the season, though, is kind of wild. We only took 6 L's throughout the entire year. So the playoffs should once again be pretty easy. It's a 2-0 series sweep in the first round. The second round is also a sweep. And in the WNBA Finals, we get up 2-0 and boom, we sweep the entirety of the playoffs. A'ja Wilson is the Finals MVP this year. Unfortunately, though, in free agency, Caitlin Clark decided to leave to join the Atlanta Dream. Like, I guess, but A'ja Wilson ended up sticking around with the Fever. I don't know why Caitlin Clark decided to leave. This team isn't bad, don't get me wrong, but like compared to what we were working with before, I feel like it's definitely a little bit of a downgrade. Like, it's kind of like comparing a Dairy Queen Blizzard to a McDonald's McFlurry. Because hear me out, bro. If the ice cream machine's working, I promise you, McDonald's is in their bag. They're deep in their bag, hitting triple step backs like they're Caitlin Clark. And also, Caitlin Clark's potential for some reason was like going down. I don't know really what happened, but I made sure to update that. She's the MVP of the league once again. But like, as y'all saw, she wasn't really progressing too far. I wanted her to get into the high 90s as far as her overall went. So hopefully that update will allow her to do that, because I think she has that potential based off what we've seen in the NCAA tournament. I think that really she could be one of the best players the WNBA has ever seen, maybe the best. I mean, I don't know too much about WNBA ball, but man, she is a bucket, bro. And in the WNBA Finals, we end up losing to the Fever, which is really unfortunate because we could have just stayed there. I don't know why Caitlin Clark decided to leave. And also, she's still not progressing, so I'm going to adjust her like peak start, peak end ages. Hopefully, that will allow her to start progressing, get up in overall. Because right now, I feel like if she entered the WNBA, she'd be playing like a 90-plus overall. I mean, the shots she hits are so tough. She is the most valuable player of the WNBA once again, and they should pretty much rename it to the Caitlin Clark Award because she is going ballistic. And we're the #1 seed this year, so hopefully this can be a different playoff run than it was last year. We're facing the Indiana Fever, and we're able to beat them, so maybe it was the right decision to leave. I owe you an apology. I wasn't familiar with your game because it looks like, yeah, we're about to get the WNBA championship. Caitlin Clark is your WNBA Finals MVP, and now we're moving on to another season where we finally see Caitlin Clark start to progress more. She's up to a 93 overall, which means she should start going absolutely crazy. I mean, even crazier than before. She's once again the MVP. Y'all know the drill at this point. It's kind of unfortunate, though, that duo of her and A'ja Wilson ended up splitting up because they really could have got a ton of rings. We go ahead and get out of the first round pretty easily, but in the second round, it looks like we got some comp here. We are going to be going to a game number 5 here, so hopefully we can get a dub. This is a winner-go-home situation, so yeah, we need a bucket. Caitlin Clark down low is able to just pretty much too little her defender, put in the layup up, and it's good. So now we're up by 5 points, and with this miss from the Aces, this game is pretty much over. We're going to be moving on to the WNBA Finals once again. So a great series here from Caitlin Clark and the Dream. I mean, actually, low-key, the Aces almost came back, but hey, it doesn't matter. We got out of there. It was a 2-point game, though. I don't know how they pulled that off. But anyway, we'll go ahead and move on to the finals where we're facing the Phoenix Mid. Like, this team is not that crazy, let's be honest. No disrespect, but like, yeah, this should be a dub. 2-0. Come on, get the brooms out. Okay, they took a game. Well, yeah, bro, that was a pity game. We go ahead and we get the dub. We were really just letting them win that so they didn't feel bad. But now we're going to be moving on to yet another season. Caitlin Caitlin Clark is a 96 overall, but keep in mind, she could eventually end up leaving the Atlanta Dream, so we'll have to see what happens with that. She averages over 20 and 10 this season, a great season once again. She's the MVP. She's the DPOY as well, so she's getting it done on both ends of the floor here. Absolutely ridiculous. And her resume, oh my goodness, 6 MVPs, 4 championships, 8-time All-Star, 7-time first team. Like, come on now. She's going absolutely crazy. Let's go ahead and let's get into yet another playoff run. It's been really good so far in terms of playoff success in Caitlin Clark's career. That last series went to a Game 5, but I just pressed simulate round. I didn't even stop it. We're here in the finals, though, regardless. 2-0. Come on, get them out of here. Get them out of here. They took one game. It's over. We go ahead and win yet another WNBA Finals championship. Caitlin Clark goes crazy in the finals here. And overall, this playoff run, it was ridiculous for her. Almost 27 points per game. And now we're moving on to yet another year. But this year's a little different because Caitlin Clark is in free agency, and it looks like she's going to be joining a new roster. I was hoping she'd be teaming back up with Asia Wilson, but she ends up joining the New York Liberty, and I'm not going to lie, this is definitely going to have to be a carry job by Caitlin Clark. I'm not exactly sure why she left the Dream because, this team sucks, respectfully. I guess you're the MVP. You got to be the most valuable player because you're bringing a lot of value to your team if they're winning any type of games. No disrespect, but my goodness, that roster is absolutely horrible. Caitlin Clark's going to have to do something generational to carry this team because, my goodness, that roster is awful. But we're here. We're the 8th seed. Maybe we can pull the upset. It's the Fever who are beating us. It seems like the Fever have been really consistently good, and for some reason she left that team, but I don't know, man. This roster's so bad, bro. We won 12 games on the season. It's bad. I don't know why Caitlin Clark signed with this team. Defensive Player of the Year. Don't know what you were guarding because we were getting plenty of buckets scored on us. We only won 12 games, bro. Absolutely horrible. But I guess we'll just go ahead and sim the playoffs, and it's the Fever. Why did she leave the Fever, bro? Because, look at this team we're working with. It's not good at all. I guess maybe she can carry this team. Yeah, 12 wins, 13 wins. Yeah, it's not looking good for us. I'm not going to lie to you. But hopefully she can just leave this team after... How much time does she have left on the contract? She's still got 2 years, bro. Oh, my goodness. So I guess 2 more years of terrible, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. Maybe this team could pick somebody up. That could also be another option. I don't know what they've been doing to get her some help, get her some more talent, make some trades, sign somebody or something. Because what's going on? And this season's a little better, I guess. 17 wins, and that's good enough for Caitlin Clark to get the MVP. She almost averaged a triple-double low-key. I mean, less than 2 assists per game off is kind of crazy. She was the DPOY as well. So maybe this year we can at least get back into the playoffs. Are we here? Yeah, we're here. We're here. We're the 6th seed. Okay, we win the first round. Okay, Caitlin, maybe this was the right decision. Just go ahead and get a championship then. Prove me wrong. This team isn't even that crazy that we're facing this Indiana Fever team. But, the Fever are in the mix every single year. I don't know why she left. It looks like they're about to drop us off. Okay, we're going to a Game 5, winner-go-home situation here. Can Caitlin Clark seal the deal for us? Let's see. That's an easy layup right there. We're up by 1 point. Maybe we can get the dub in this series and advance to the finals. Let's see. Do the Fever have an answer here? There's the screen up top. There's the pull-up. It's off. Rebound, though. And that's a bucket. That's an easy bucket, matter of fact. And now the Fever are up by 1. We need to have an answer here. Can Caitlin Clark do something for us? There's a 3 from deep, and it's off. So now it looks like it might be wrapped because for some reason we fouled. One more chance at it, though, if we hit a three-pointer. That's a solid look. It doesn't go, though. And, yeah, the game is pretty much over, and so is the season. Hopefully she'll be getting up and out of here sooner rather than later because, look at the performance of her teammates in this final game. Absolutely awful. And now the season is over once again, bro. This isn't good. And the Fever, why did you leave the Fever, bro? The Fever, she could have been cooking over there, but ultimately Caitlin Clark is going to be leaving and joining the Sparks. So hopefully they've got a better team to work with. She's going to be teaming up with Borislava Weaver, who has won MVPs before, I believe. So this is going to be a kind of crazy duo. This is going to be like when Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson were hooping together, because they were a good duo. So hopefully this can be something similar to that. We did have a good season. Caitlin Clark, MVP and DPOY. Wouldn't really expect anything less at this point. We got the Fever in the first round. Like, bruh. The Fever end up beating us. They've been so good, so consistently, even since Caitlin Clark left. And this was kind of an off playoff run, or at least it was kind of a short run. I'd call it a jog or a walk, bro, because it was real short. But Caitlin Clark was off in that one, not really playing well through those 3 games. And this season, only 19 wins. With the duo we have, I feel like we should be winning more games than that. But I mean, I guess Caitlin Clark picks up her 10th. Yeah, you heard that right. 10th MVP. Absolutely crazy as we're heading into the playoffs once again. A really good season for her. 23 points per game is crazy. And she's the Defensive Player of the Year. This year, though, we're only the 6th seed. Hopefully, we can make some type of improbable run into the finals as like a 6th seed. You know, we'll just, what's it called? Like, shock the competition. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and let's do it. In game 1, we lose. Okay, never mind. We didn't shock the competition. We got absolutely destroyed. And now we'll move on to yet another year where now Caitlin Clark is pretty much on her own. I guess we'll see what she can do. 2 years left on the contract. So worst case scenario, she'll just get up and out of here. Yeah, that might be what we need to do, because 12-24 is kind of crazy. No MVP for her this year because obviously not enough wins there, and we're not going to be in the playoffs this season, which is unfortunate, but we've seen quite a bit of playoff success from Caitlin Clark so far, but this was probably one of her better individual seasons, so it sucks that her team just wasn't really able to get it done. And we do have a player, Rebecca West, going up to an 85, so maybe she can help us out this year, but this could be Caitlin Clark's last year with the Sparks. Caitlin Clark is not the MVP this season, so yeah, it might be time to get up and out of here, because, well, maybe not. Maybe she's washed. Only 16 points per game this season, which is way down from last year. Kind of confused as to what happened. Only 10 wins on the season as well, so... yeah, I don't really know what happened this year. Maybe it was just a down year. Maybe she's ready to leave, and that's exactly what she does. She teams back up with Borislava Weaver, and they're both getting older and kind of regressing. Caitlin Clark is 37 at this point. The seasons have gone by fast because they're real quick to sim in this, and Caitlin Clark is back on top as the MVP of the league, so that's good to see. Hopefully her team had a more successful season this year. I mean, it couldn't get much worse than last season, and we're in here as the number 1 seed. The first round is an easy win. The second round is an easy win, and now we're headed to the finals with the Chicago Sky. We're facing the Storm here, and so far it's been an easy run through the playoffs. We'll have to see if they can give us some comp, and they're not going to. We win in 4 games. Caitlin Clark averages a triple-double in the WNBA Finals as we get another ring on the resume. And now, I'm not going to lie to you, the roster is looking a little bit worse, but maybe Caitlin Clark can pull something off. These are likely going to be the final few years of her career as she is getting older. This season was kind of a mid-season, 19-17, but individually, Caitlin Clark continues to hoop at the age of 38. I mean, absolutely crazy. And she's also going to be a free agent this summer, so we'll have to see if she decides to stick around or join another team. Now, we do have some other teams who played much better than us throughout the regular season, like the Dream, who went 32-4. So it's going to be improbable that we make a run, but we'll have to see. Yeah, we end up losing in just 3 games in the first round. So, or actually, 3 games is as long as the first round can go. This was a pretty high-scoring game, 114, 117. But yeah, the season's over. I guess Caitlin Clark should probably look to join another team as she is getting older, and it's time to try and add a couple more rings to the resume. This team looks real nice, so hopefully she can do something with this roster. She's not saying anything about retiring at this point at the age of 39, so maybe she'll just continue to hoop. I mean, she's still the MVP of the league in 2040, so she's really showing no signs of slowing down. But we'll have to see what the Minnesota Lynx can do this year, and if Caitlin Clark can add another championship to her already stacked resume. It was a 29-7 season, good enough for the best in the league. The first round is a 3-game win. In the second round, we're facing the Fever once again. They take game 1 and they take game 3. So now we're down and we end up losing in just 4 games. The Fever, man, should have just stuck around there. But now Caitlin Clark is going to the Sparks, and this could end up being her last season. I mean, she is 40 years old at this point, and by the end of the year, she's not the MVP of the league. This is the 2041 season, which is absolutely crazy. Even though she is 40 years old, she is still making the all WNBA teams, but it looks like she's going to retire after this year. So we've got to make a run this year. It'd be crazy if she could end off her career in the perfect way by winning a championship, but Atlanta won 33 games this year, so we'll have to get through them most likely if we want to win a ring. We've got a tough series against none other than the Fever here, and they're up 2-1. Hopefully we can get this dub. In Game 5, we end up winning, which means we're going to make a WNBA Finals. 35 points from Caitlin Clark here to close out the series and get the win in dominant fashion. Now we've got the Atlanta Dream. They were dominant in the regular season, but I honestly expected their team to be a little better. We'll see if we can win this series. We're up 2-0, but they're going to fight back. So now we have a winner go home Game 5 where we end up getting blown out. Really anticlimactic, but it is what it is, I guess. Caitlin Clark had a great career, and in her final game, it wasn't anything too crazy, but overall, Caitlin Clark played so well throughout the entirety of this simulation. You can see the resume. It's absolutely ridiculous. She won 13 MVPs, 6 rings, made an all-star team every single year of her career, and got 6 DPOIs. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I had a ton of fun making it. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.